Welcome to Plumber Red Seal Exam Prep. This video contains 125 practice questions with detailed answers and explanations. Each question covers essential skills from the Red Seal Occupational Standard. Let's get started. This exam covers 7 major work activities. Major Work Activity A, Common Occupational Skills, 14 questions. Major Work Activity B, Prepares and Assembles Pipe, 13 questions. Major Work Activity C, DWV Systems, 33 questions. Major Work Activity D, Water Service and Distribution, 24 questions. Major Work Activity E, Fixtures and Water Treatment, 16 questions. Major Work Activity F, Steam and Hydronic Systems, 16 questions. Major Work Activity G, Specialized Systems, 9 questions. Let's begin with question 1. Question 1. What is the primary purpose of lockout-tagout procedures in plumbing work? A. To prevent accidental energization of equipment during maintenance. B. To identify and mark pipe locations for future installation reference. C. To mark completed work sections for scheduled inspection approval. D. To indicate the installation date and age of existing equipment. The correct answer is A. To prevent accidental energization of equipment during maintenance. Lockout-tagout procedures are designed to prevent the accidental energization or startup of equipment during maintenance or repair work. This includes isolating electrical, pneumatic, hydraulic, and gravity energy sources. Lockout-tagout is a critical safety procedure that protects workers from hazardous energy releases. Question 2. Which type of personal protective equipment must be worn when soldering copper pipe? A. Hearing protection for noise from torch ignition. B. Hard hat, steel-toed boots, and high-visibility vest. C. Dust mask, knee pads, and standard work gloves. D. Safety glasses, heat-resistant gloves, and long sleeves. The correct answer is D. Safety glasses, heat-resistant gloves, and long sleeves. When soldering copper pipe, a plumber must wear safety glasses to protect eyes from flux splatter, heat-resistant gloves to prevent burns from hot pipe and solder, and long sleeves to protect arms from burns. The torch flame and molten solder present significant burn hazards that require appropriate personal protective equipment. Question 3. What is the maximum safe working load typically allowed for a synthetic web sling used in rigging operations? A. Equal to the sling's breaking strength. B. 1/5 of the sling's breaking strength or less. C. 1/2 of the sling's breaking strength. D. 3/4 of the sling's breaking strength. The correct answer is B. 1/5 of the sling's breaking strength or less. The maximum safe working load for synthetic web slings is typically rated at 1/5, 20%, of the breaking strength or less, providing a 5-to-1 safety factor. This safety factor accounts for wear, environmental conditions, and dynamic loading that can occur during lifting operations. Never exceed the rated capacity shown on the sling tag. Question 4. What is the correct procedure for soldering a copper fitting? A. Apply heat to the fitting, then the pipe, and apply solder to the flame side. B. Heat the pipe until red hot, then apply flux and solder together. C. Clean the pipe and fitting, apply flux, heat the fitting, and apply solder to the side opposite the flame. D. Apply solder to cold pipe and fitting, then heat to melt the solder into the joint. The correct answer is C. Clean the pipe and fitting, apply flux, heat the fitting, and apply solder to the side opposite the flame. The correct procedure is 1. Clean pipe and fitting with abrasive cloth. 2. Apply flux to both surfaces. 3. Assemble the joint. 4. Heat the fitting, not the pipe directly. 5. Apply solder to the side opposite the flame. The solder should flow into the joint by capillary action when the fitting reaches the proper temperature, approximately 230 to 260 degrees Celsius. Question 5. When setting up an extension ladder, what is the correct ratio for ladder placement? A. 1:2 ratio, base 1 unit out for every 2 units of height. B. 1:3 ratio, base 1 unit out for every 3 units of total ladder length. C. 1:5 ratio, base 1 unit out for every 5 units of height to the support point. D. 1:4 ratio, base 1 unit out for every 4 units of working height. The correct answer is D. 1:4 ratio, base 1 unit out for every 4 units of working height. The correct ladder placement ratio is 1:4 times, also known as the 4-to-1 rule. The base of the ladder should be placed 1 unit out from the wall for every 4 units of working height. This provides optimal stability and safety angle, approximately 75 degrees. The ladder should extend at least 3 feet, 1 meters, above the landing surface. Question 6. When organizing a plumbing project, what is the first step a plumber should take? A. Review blueprints and specifications to understand the scope of work. B. Order all materials immediately to avoid delays. C. Begin roughing in the drainage system. D. Schedule the final inspection with the authority having jurisdiction. The correct answer is A. Review blueprints and specifications to understand the scope of work. The first step in organizing a plumbing project is to review the blueprints and specifications to understand the complete scope of work. This includes identifying all fixtures, pipe sizes, materials required, and any special requirements. Proper planning prevents costly errors and ensures code compliance throughout the project. Question 7. Which documentation must be maintained on site during a plumbing installation? A. Only the plumber's personal training certificates. B. Building permit, approved plans, and inspection records. C. Supplier invoices and payment receipts only. D. The contractor's business license only. The correct answer is B. Building permit, approved plans, and inspection records. During a plumbing installation, the building permit, approved plans, drawings and specifications, and inspection records must be maintained on site. These documents are required by the authority having jurisdiction, AHJ, and must be available for inspectors. They provide proof of compliance with codes and approved designs. Question 8. When calculating the length of pipe needed for an offset, which measurements must the plumber take into account? A. The travel length, fitting allowances, and end connections. B. Only the vertical rise of the offset. C. Only the horizontal run of the offset. D. The pipe diameter multiplied by the number of fittings. The correct answer is A. The travel length, fitting allowances, and end connections. When calculating pipe length for an offset, the plumber must account for 1. Travel length, the diagonal distance, 2. Fitting allowances, the distance the pipe inserts into each fitting, and 3. End connections, how the offset connects to the existing piping. These calculations ensure accurate pipe cutting and proper fit. Question 9. What is the recommended maximum spacing for horizontal pipe supports for 3-inch, 75 mm, ABS plastic drain pipe? A. 2 feet, 600 mm. B. 6 feet, 1,800 mm. C. 8 feet, 2,400 mm. D. 4 feet, 1,200 mm. The correct answer is D. 4 feet, 1,200 mm. According to the National Plumbing Code, horizontal ABS plastic drain pipe of 3 inches, 75 mm, or larger should be supported at intervals not exceeding 4 feet, 1,200 mm. Proper support prevents sagging, maintains slope, and protects joint integrity. Vertical piping requires support at each floor level and at intervals based on pipe size. Question 10. What type of material is typically used for fire stopping around plastic drain pipes passing through fire-rated assemblies? A. Standard plumber's putty applied to opening. B. Silicone sealant around the pipe opening. C. Intumescent fire stop collar or caulk. D. Duct tape and fiberglass insulation wrap. The correct answer is C. Intumescent fire stop collar or caulk. Intumescent fire stop collars or caulk are used around plastic pipes passing through fire-rated assemblies. When exposed to heat, intumescent materials expand to close off the opening if the plastic pipe melts, preventing fire and smoke spread. All fire stopping must be installed per manufacturer specifications and listed for the specific application. Question 11. When rigging a load for crane lifting, what is the correct method for determining the load weight? A. Estimate the weight based on visual appearance and experience. B. Assume the crane can handle any reasonable load in normal conditions. C. Only consider the load weight if the item appears unusually heavy. D. Use manufacturer specifications, shipping documents, or material weight calculations. The correct answer is D. Use manufacturer specifications, shipping documents, or material weight calculations. The load weight must be accurately determined using manufacturer specifications, shipping documents, or calculations based on material weights and dimensions. Never estimate or guess. The weight must be compared to the crane's load chart for the specific lift conditions, radius, boom length, ground conditions, to ensure safe operation. Question 12. How should plumbing materials be organized and stored on a construction site? A. Protected from weather, organized by trade, and stored to prevent damage. B. Scattered throughout the building for quick and easy worker access. C. Left in original delivery packaging until they are immediately needed. D. Placed wherever there is available floor space in the building. The correct answer is A. Protected from weather, organized by trade, and stored to prevent damage. Materials should be protected from weather damage, organized by trade and type, and stored to prevent physical damage. Pipes should be stored on racks or dunnage off the ground, fittings in labeled containers, and sensitive items, like gaskets, protected from UV and moisture. Proper organization improves efficiency and prevents material waste. Question 13. A plumber discovers that the lockout device on a water heater breaker has been removed by an unknown person. What is the most appropriate first action? A. Continue working and replace the lockout device when the job is finished. B. Ask nearby workers if they removed the lockout device without authorization. C. Complete the current task quickly before someone else can remove the device. D. Immediately stop work, re-establish lockout, and report to the supervisor. The correct answer is D. Immediately stop work, re-establish lockout, and report to the supervisor. The plumber must immediately stop work, re-establish the lockout, and report the incident to the supervisor. A removed lockout device represents a serious safety violation that could have resulted in injury or death. The supervisor must investigate who removed the lock and why, and take corrective action to prevent future violations. Question 14. An apprentice consistently makes the same mistake when measuring pipe offsets. What is the most effective mentoring approach? A. Complete the task yourself to avoid project delays and rework. B. Document the errors carefully and report them to the training coordinator. C. Demonstrate the correct technique, explain the reasoning, and supervise practice. D. Assign the apprentice to simpler tasks that don't require any calculations. The correct answer is C. Demonstrate the correct technique, explain the reasoning, and supervise practice. Effective mentoring involves demonstrating the correct technique, explaining the reasoning behind it, and providing supervised practice opportunities. This approach addresses the root cause of the error, builds understanding, and allows the apprentice to develop competency. Simply avoiding the task or reassigning work doesn't promote skill development. Question 15. What is the purpose of inspecting tubing, and pipe before installation? A. To determine the manufacturer's warranty period for the materials. B. To identify damage, defects, and verify correct material and size. C. To calculate the cost of the materials used on the project. D. To document the materials for project billing and accounting. The correct answer is B. To identify damage, defects, and verify correct material and size. Pre-installation inspection ensures materials are free from damage, dents, cracks, corrosion, defects, manufacturing flaws, and verifies the correct material type, size, and rating for the intended application. Using damaged or incorrect materials can lead to system failures, leaks, and code violations. Question 16. What is the minimum cure time for ABS solvent cement joints before pressure testing according to manufacturer specifications? A. Immediate, no cure time required. B. 15 minutes at any temperature. C. 2 hours minimum, longer in cold temperatures. D. 24 hours regardless of temperature. The correct answer is C. 2 hours minimum, longer in cold temperatures. ABS solvent cement joints typically require a minimum 2-hour cure time before pressure testing at normal temperatures, 16 to 38 degrees Celsius. Cure time increases significantly in cold weather, up to 48 hours in temperatures below 4 degrees Celsius. Always follow manufacturer specifications, as premature pressure testing can cause joint failure. Question 17. What is the maximum working temperature for CPVC, chlorinated polyvinyl chloride, pipe used in potable water systems? A. 60 degrees Celsius, 140 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 82 degrees Celsius, 180 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 120 degrees Celsius, 248 degrees Fahrenheit. The correct answer is B. 82 degrees Celsius, 180 degrees Fahrenheit. CPVC pipe is rated for a maximum working temperature of 82 degrees Celsius, 180 degrees Fahrenheit, at 100 psi, making it suitable for hot water distribution systems. Unlike regular PVC, CPVC can handle elevated temperatures without deformation. However, pressure ratings decrease as temperature increases, so system design must account for both factors. Question 18. What is the correct procedure for cutting copper tubing with a tube cutter? A. Tighten the cutter as much as possible on the first rotation to cut quickly. B. Cut from both ends toward the middle. C. Apply cutting oil and make a single deep cut. D. Score the tube lightly, then gradually tighten the cutter with each rotation. The correct answer is D. Score the tube lightly, then gradually tighten the cutter with each rotation. The correct procedure is to score the tube lightly with the cutting wheel, then gradually tighten the cutter handle 1/4 to 1/2 turn with each rotation around the tube. Over-tightening causes the tube to flare or deform, creating an uneven end. After cutting, deburr both inside and outside edges with the reamer. Question 19. When bending copper tubing with a spring bender, what technique prevents the tubing from kinking? A. Make the bend as quickly as possible to prevent work hardening. B. Overbend slightly past the angle, then backbend to the required position. C. Heat the tube with a torch before bending to soften the copper. D. Fill the tube with water and freeze it before bending operations. The correct answer is B. Overbend slightly past the angle, then backbend to the required position. When using a spring bender, overbend the tube slightly past the desired angle, about 5 to 10 degrees, then backbend to the required angle. This technique helps remove the spring bender more easily and results in a smoother, more accurate bend. The spring supports the tube walls and prevents kinking during the bending process. Question 20. How should the end of copper tube be prepared before soldering? A. Clean with emery cloth or abrasive pad until bright, then apply flux. B. Wipe with a dry cloth to remove any visible dirt from the surface. C. Apply flux directly to the copper end without any prior cleaning. D. Heat the end with a torch to burn off surface contaminants first. The correct answer is A. Clean with emery cloth or abrasive pad until bright, then apply flux. Copper tube ends must be cleaned with emery cloth, abrasive pad, or fitting brush until the surface is bright and free of oxidation. Flux is then applied to prevent oxidation during heating and to promote solder flow. Dirty or oxidized surfaces prevent proper solder bonding and result in failed joints. Question 21. When brazing a copper-to-copper joint using BCUP, silver-bearing, brazing alloy, what flux is required? A. Standard soldering flux, petroleum-based. B. Acid-based flux must be used. C. White brazing flux specifically designed for high temperatures. D. No flux required when joining copper to copper with BCUP alloys. The correct answer is D. No flux required when joining copper to copper with BCUP alloys. BCUP, copper phosphorus, brazing alloys are self-fluxing when joining copper to copper, meaning no additional flux is required. The phosphorus content in the alloy acts as a fluxing agent. However, when brazing copper to brass or bronze, a white brazing flux must be used because the zinc content in these alloys interferes with the self-fluxing action. Question 22. What is the correct procedure for joining ABS pipe using solvent cement? A. Apply cement to the pipe end only, insert into fitting, and hold for 10 seconds. B. Heat the fitting with a torch until soft, then insert the pipe into the socket. C. Apply primer, then cement to both surfaces, insert with quarter turn, hold 30 seconds. D. Apply cement to the fitting socket only and push the pipe in without any turning. The correct answer is C. Apply primer, then cement to both surfaces, insert with quarter turn, hold 30 seconds. The correct ABS joining procedure is 1. Cut pipe square and deburr. 2. Apply ABS primer over cleaner to both surfaces if required by local code. 3. Apply a heavy coat of ABS cement to the pipe end. 4. Apply a light coat to the fitting socket. 5. Insert immediately with a 1/4 turn to spread cement. 6. Hold for 30 seconds minimum. Question 23. When threading steel pipe, what cutting oil should be used and why? A. Thread cutting oil to lubricate, cool the dies, and produce clean threads. B. Motor oil for general lubrication of the threading dies and pipe. C. Water for cooling the dies and pipe during the threading process. D. No oil is required for standard steel pipe threading operations. The correct answer is A. Thread cutting oil to lubricate, cool the dies, and produce clean threads. Thread cutting oil specifically designed for threading operations must be used. It lubricates the cutting action, cools the dies and pipe to prevent overheating, and helps produce clean, accurate threads. Apply oil liberally throughout the cutting process. Lack of proper oil results in rough threads, die damage, and shortened tool life. Question 24. What is the correct method for assembling a no-hub cast iron coupling? A. Hand tighten both clamps until they feel snug against the gasket. B. Tighten one clamp fully to spec before starting on the other clamp. C. Use impact tools on both clamps to ensure maximum tightness. D. Tighten clamps alternately and evenly to manufacturer's specified torque. The correct answer is D. Tighten clamps alternately and evenly to manufacturer's specified torque. No-hub coupling clamps must be tightened alternately, switching between clamps, and evenly to the manufacturer's specified torque, typically 60 inches lbs or 6.8 Nm. This ensures even compression of the neoprene gasket around the joint. Over-tightening can damage the gasket, under-tightening allows leaks. Use a torque wrench for accurate results. Question 25. When joining PEX tubing with crimp rings, what tool is used to verify proper crimp dimensions? A. Measuring tape. B. Calipers only. C. Go over no-go gauge. D. Visual inspection is sufficient. The correct answer is C. Go over no-go gauge. A go over no-go gauge is used to verify proper crimp dimensions on PEX crimp rings. The go side should slide over the crimped ring, and the no-go side should not fit over it. This ensures the crimp provides adequate compression for a watertight seal. Each crimp should be checked, especially at the beginning of a project to verify tool adjustment. Question 26. What is the correct method for cutting cast iron pipe using a snap cutter? A. Apply continuous pressure until the pipe snaps. B. Score the pipe lightly first, then gradually increase chain tension while rotating. C. Heat the cut line with a torch before applying the cutter. D. Use a reciprocating saw for initial cuts, then finish with the snap cutter. The correct answer is B. Score the pipe lightly first, then gradually increase chain tension while rotating. To cut cast iron with a snap cutter, 1. Wrap the chain around the pipe at the cut mark. 2. Apply light pressure to score the pipe circumference. 3. Gradually increase tension on the chain with each rotation. 4. Continue until the pipe snaps cleanly along the scored line. This produces a square cut without the pipe shards created by abrasive cutting. Question 27. What should a plumber do if solder fails to flow into a copper joint during soldering? A. Apply more solder wire until it fills the entire joint gap. B. Increase torch flame size and continue heating the fitting. C. Fill the gap with additional flux and continue heating. D. Remove heat, cool, disassemble, clean, reflux, and start again. The correct answer is D. Remove heat, cool, disassemble, clean, reflux, and start again. If solder fails to flow properly, the joint is contaminated or not at the correct temperature. Stop heating immediately, allow the joint to cool, disassemble it, and clean both surfaces again with emery cloth. Apply fresh flux and reassemble. Continuing to heat or adding more solder will not correct a contaminated joint and may damage the tubing. Question 28. What is the minimum slope required for a building sewer pipe 4 inches, 100 millimeters, or larger according to the National Plumbing Code? A. 1/8 inch per foot, 1%. B. 1/4 inch per foot, 2%. C. 1/2 inch per foot, 4%. D. 1 inch per foot, 8%. The correct answer is A. 1/8 inch per foot, 1%. According to the National Plumbing Code, building sewers 4 inches, 100 millimeters, or larger require a minimum slope of 1/8 inch per foot, approximately 1% or 10 millimeters per meter. Smaller pipes, 3 inches and below, require 1/4 inch per foot, 2%. This minimum slope ensures adequate flow velocity for self-cleaning action. Question 29. What is the primary purpose of a catch basin in a plumbing system? A. To increase the water pressure and flow velocity in the sewer line. B. To vent the sewer system to the atmosphere for gas release. C. To provide access for cleaning and maintaining the building drain. D. To collect surface water and debris before entering the storm sewer. The correct answer is D. To collect surface water and debris before entering the storm sewer. A catch basin collects surface water and allows sediment and debris to settle before the water enters the storm sewer system. The sediment trap at the bottom prevents solids from entering and potentially blocking the downstream piping. Catch basins require periodic cleaning to remove accumulated sediment. Question 30. When installing a building sewer, what bedding material is typically placed under the pipe? A. Native soil only, regardless of conditions. B. Granular material such as pea gravel or sand. C. Large rocks for drainage. D. Concrete for maximum support. The correct answer is B. Granular material such as pea gravel or sand. Granular bedding material such as pea gravel or sand is placed under sewer pipe to provide uniform support and prevent point loading. The bedding should be free of rocks and debris, compacted to prevent settlement, and shaped to support the lower portion of the pipe. Native soil may be used only if it meets specified requirements. Question 31. What is the minimum cover required over a building sewer in a vehicular traffic area? A. 6 inches, 150 millimeters, below the finished grade surface. B. 12 inches, 300 millimeters, minimum below the grade surface. C. 18 inches, 450 millimeters, below the finished grade level. D. Based on frost depth and traffic loads, typically 4 feet, 1.2 meters. The correct answer is D, based on frost depth and traffic loads, typically 4 feet, 1.2 meters. Minimum cover over building sewers in vehicular traffic areas depends on frost depth, traffic loads, and pipe material. In most Canadian jurisdictions, this is typically 4 feet, 1.2 meters, or more to protect against frost and traffic loading. The National Plumbing Code requires consideration of both frost protection and structural protection from applied loads. Question 32. What type of test is typically performed on a newly installed building sewer? A. High-pressure hydrostatic test at 150 psi for 30 minutes. B. Low-pressure air test or water test with a 10-foot head. C. Vacuum test at 10 inches of mercury for leak detection. D. Smoke test performed under positive pressure conditions. The correct answer is B. Low-pressure air test or water test with a 10-foot head. Building sewers are typically tested with a low-pressure air test or water test. The water test requires filling the system and maintaining a 10-foot, 3 meters, head of water for 15 minutes. The air test pressurizes the system to 5 psi, 35 kilopascals, and monitors for pressure drop. High-pressure tests are not appropriate for gravity drainage systems. Question 33. What is the correct procedure for clearing a blockage in a building sewer? A. Pour chemical drain cleaner into the nearest fixture. B. Dig up the sewer line and replace the blocked section. C. Increase water flow to push the blockage through. D. Access the cleanout, use a sewer machine or water jetter, and verify flow. The correct answer is D. Access the cleanout, use a sewer machine or water jetter, and verify flow. The correct procedure is 1. Locate and open the appropriate cleanout. 2. Use a sewer machine, snake, or water jetter to clear the blockage. 3. Verify flow is restored by running water. 4. Close the cleanout securely. Chemical cleaners are generally ineffective for main sewer blockages and can damage pipes. Question 34. When sizing a building sewer, what factors must be considered? A. Only the number of fixtures connected. B. Only the distance from building to property line. C. Total fixture units, pipe material, and minimum slope available. D. The water supply pressure to the building. The correct answer is C. Total fixture units, pipe material, and minimum slope available. Building sewer sizing must consider 1. Total drainage fixture units, DFU, from all connected fixtures. 2. Pipe material, different materials have different capacities. 3. Available slope, steeper slopes allow smaller pipes. And 4. Local code requirements. The minimum size is typically 4 inches, 100 millimeters, for residential buildings. Question 35. At what intervals must maintenance holes be installed in a building sewer? A. Every 50 feet, 15 meters, regardless of site conditions and layout. B. At direction changes, grade changes, and at maximum code intervals. C. Only at the building connection point and property line. D. Every 10 feet, 3 meters, for frequent and convenient access. The correct answer is B. At direction changes, grade changes, and at maximum code intervals. Maintenance holes or cleanouts are required at changes in direction greater than 45 degrees, changes in pipe size, changes in grade, junction points, and at maximum intervals specified by code, typically 75 to 100 feet or 23 to 30 meters for straight runs. This ensures the entire sewer system is accessible for maintenance and cleaning. Question 36. What type of pipe connection is required where a building sewer connects to a municipal sewer main? A. A flexible coupling or saddle connection as required by municipality. B. Direct connection with solvent cement applied to both surfaces. C. Open channel discharge into the municipal sewer main. D. Threaded steel connection with joint compound and tape. The correct answer is A. A flexible coupling or saddle connection as required by municipality. Connection to a municipal sewer main typically requires an approved flexible coupling, saddle fitting, or other connection method specified by the local municipality. This prevents damage to the main during differential settlement and allows for future maintenance. Installation often requires municipal inspection and may require a permit. Question 37. What is the maximum allowable deflection angle at a single fitting in a building sewer line? A. 90 degrees using a single 1/4 bend. B. 45 degrees using long radius fittings. C. 22.5 degrees only. D. No limit on deflection angle. The correct answer is B. 45 degrees using long radius fittings. Most plumbing codes limit deflection at a single fitting to 45 degrees, 1/8 bend, for building sewers to prevent blockages and allow for cable cleaning. Where greater direction changes are required, 2 or more fittings should be used. Long radius fittings are preferred over short radius to reduce flow resistance and improve cleanability. Question 38. What should a plumber do before entering a maintenance hole for inspection or repair? A. Enter immediately to assess conditions and begin work. B. Lower a ladder and descend quickly to minimize time. C. Test for hazardous gases, ensure ventilation, and follow confined space procedures. D. Only perform visual inspection from the surface without entry. The correct answer is C. Test for hazardous gases, ensure ventilation, and follow confined space procedures. Maintenance holes are confined spaces with potential hazards including toxic gases, hydrogen sulfide, oxygen deficiency, and explosive atmospheres. Before entry, 1. Test atmosphere with calibrated gas detector. 2. Ensure adequate ventilation. 3. Follow confined space entry procedures including standby person and rescue equipment. Never enter without proper safety measures. Question 39. A building sewer repeatedly backs up at the same location. Camera inspection shows no visible blockage or damage. What is the most likely cause? A. The pipe is too large for the flow causing slow drainage. B. A belly, low spot, in the pipe where solids accumulate. C. Too many cleanouts installed along the sewer run. D. Excessive slope causing water to outrun the solids. The correct answer is B. A belly, low spot, in the pipe where solids accumulate. A belly, sag or low spot, in the pipe allows solids to accumulate while liquid passes over, eventually causing repeated blockages at the same location. Camera inspection may not show a visible blockage, but measuring the pipe grade with a grade laser will reveal the low spot. Correction requires excavation and relaying the affected section with proper slope. Question 40. During a water test of a building sewer, the water level drops slowly but no visible leak is found. What should the plumber investigate? A. The test is passing if the water level drop is slow. B. Nothing needs investigation, as some water loss is expected. C. The water meter to verify its accuracy and calibration. D. Underground leaks, seepage through joints, or maintenance hole leaks. The correct answer is D. Underground leaks, seepage through joints, or maintenance hole leaks. A slow water level drop indicates a leak, even if not visible above ground. The plumber should investigate: 1. Underground joint leaks, may show as saturated soil. 2. Seepage through no-hub couplings or other mechanical joints. 3. Leaks inside maintenance holes at pipe connections. All leaks must be repaired and the system retested until it holds. Question 41. What determines the size of a septic tank for a residential installation? A. The number of bedrooms and daily water usage of the household. B. The size of the building lot only, regardless of occupancy. C. The type and number of plumbing fixtures installed in the home. D. The depth of the seasonal high water table on the property. The correct answer is A. The number of bedrooms and daily water usage of the household. Septic tank size is primarily determined by the number of bedrooms, which indicates occupancy and expected wastewater volume, and daily water usage. Most codes specify minimum tank sizes based on bedrooms. 1 to 3 bedrooms typically require 1,000 gallons, 3,785 liters, with increases for additional bedrooms. Larger tanks may be required for high water usage. Question 42. What is the minimum separation distance typically required between a septic tank and a well? A. 10 feet, 3 meters, from the well casing. B. 25 feet, 7.5 meters, from the well casing. C. 50 feet, 15 meters, or more depending on jurisdiction. D. 100 feet, 30 meters, from the well casing. The correct answer is C. 50 feet, 15 meters, or more depending on jurisdiction. The minimum separation distance between a septic tank and a well is typically 50 feet, 15 meters, though some jurisdictions require greater distances. This separation protects groundwater from contamination. Disposal fields often require even greater separation, 100 feet or more. Always verify requirements with the local authority having jurisdiction. Question 43. What is the primary function of baffles inside a septic tank? A. To increase the structural strength of the tank walls and cover. B. To prevent solids and scum from exiting while allowing effluent flow. C. To add oxygen to the tank contents for aerobic treatment. D. To reduce the tank volume for faster wastewater treatment. The correct answer is B. To prevent solids and scum from exiting while allowing effluent flow. Septic tank baffles, inlet and outlet, prevent floating scum and settled solids from leaving the tank. The inlet baffle directs incoming sewage downward below the scum layer, while the outlet baffle allows only clarified effluent from the middle liquid zone to exit. Damaged baffles allow solids to reach and clog the disposal field. Question 44. What is the correct procedure for installing a septic tank? A. Set the tank directly on native soil regardless of conditions. B. Place the tank above ground level to simplify all maintenance. C. Install the tank at maximum depth to increase system capacity. D. Excavate, prepare compacted granular base, set level, backfill carefully. The correct answer is D. Excavate, prepare compacted granular base, set level, backfill carefully. Proper septic tank installation requires 1. Excavate to required depth. 2. Prepare a compacted granular base for uniform support. 3. Set tank level in both directions. 4. Connect inlet and outlet piping. 5. Backfill carefully with granular material, compacting in lifts. The tank must be level to ensure proper operation of the baffles. Question 45. When installing a leaching bed, disposal field, what determines the size of the field? A. The size of the septic tank installed on the property. B. The property size only, regardless of soil type. C. The soil percolation rate and daily sewage flow. D. The depth to bedrock only, regardless of soil type. The correct answer is C. The soil percolation rate and daily sewage flow. Leaching bed size is determined by 1. Soil percolation rate, how fast water drains through soil, measured in minutes per inch. 2. Daily sewage flow, based on occupancy over bedrooms. And 3. Local code requirements. Slower draining soils require larger disposal fields. A percolation test, PERC test, is required before design. Question 46. How is a septic system tested after installation? A. Fill with water and check for leaks in the tank and connections. B. Pump the tank to verify pump-out access works properly. C. No testing required, just a visual inspection of components. D. High-pressure air test of all components in the system. The correct answer is A. Fill with water and check for leaks in the tank and connections. Septic system testing includes 1. Fill the tank with water to check for leaks. 2. Verify all connections are watertight. 3. Check that the tank is level by observing water levels. 4. Verify inlet and outlet pipe connections. The distribution box and disposal field are also inspected for proper installation before backfilling. Question 47. What regular maintenance is required for a conventional septic system? A. Pumping the tank every 3 to 5 years or as needed based on solids level. B. Weekly addition of septic additives to promote bacterial action. C. Annual replacement of the inlet and outlet tank baffles. D. Monthly inspection and maintenance of the entire disposal field. The correct answer is A. Pumping the tank every 3 to 5 years or as needed based on solids level. Conventional septic tanks require pumping every 3 to 5 years, or more frequently for high-use systems, to remove accumulated solids. Failure to pump allows solids to enter the disposal field, causing premature failure. The pumping frequency depends on tank size, occupancy, and water usage. Inspection during pumping assesses baffle condition. Question 48. What must be verified during site evaluation before designing a septic system? A. Only the property boundaries and available land area. B. Soil conditions, water table depth, setback distances, and slope. C. Only the location of the nearest municipal sewer main. D. The building's architectural style and footprint dimensions. The correct answer is B. Soil conditions, water table depth, setback distances, and slope. Site evaluation for septic systems must verify 1. Soil type and percolation rate, perk test, 2. Depth to water table, seasonal high, 3. Setback distances from wells, property lines, and water bodies, 4. Ground slope, affects dispersal field design, 5. Available area for primary and reserve field. All factors affect system design and approval. Question 49. What is the function of a distribution box in a septic system? A. To distribute effluent equally to multiple leaching trenches. B. To store excess sewage during high flow periods in the system. C. To add treatment chemicals to the effluent before dispersal. D. To provide access for tank pumping and maintenance. The correct answer is A. To distribute effluent equally to multiple leaching trenches. A distribution box receives septic tank effluent and distributes it equally to multiple leaching trenches in the disposal field. The box must be installed level so effluent flows equally to all outlet pipes. Unequal distribution can overload some trenches while underutilizing others, reducing system life. Question 50. What indicates that a septic system disposal field is failing? A. Clear water draining quickly from all fixtures in the building. B. Low water pressure readings at the fixtures in the building. C. Excessive water usage readings on the water meter. D. Wet spots, odors, or sewage surfacing over the field area. The correct answer is D. Wet spots, odors, or sewage surfacing over the field area. Signs of disposal field failure include 1. Wet spots or soggy ground over the field. 2. Sewage odors in the yard. 3. Sewage surfacing, breakout. 4. Slow drains throughout the building. 5. Sewage backup into the building. Failed fields typically require replacement, which is costly. Early detection allows for potential remediation. Question 51. What is the purpose of an effluent filter on a septic tank outlet? A. To add chlorine to the effluent for disinfection purposes. B. To increase the flow velocity of effluent to the field. C. To prevent suspended solids from reaching the disposal field. D. To reduce odors in the yard around the septic tank. The correct answer is C. To prevent suspended solids from reaching the disposal field. An effluent filter is installed at the septic tank outlet to catch suspended solids that would otherwise flow to and clog the disposal field. The filter requires periodic cleaning, typically annually during tank inspection, but significantly extends disposal field life by preventing solids accumulation in the leaching bed. Question 52. When installing septic system piping from building to tank, what slope is required? A. Level installation is preferred. B. Minimum 1/4 inch per foot, 2%, toward the tank. C. Maximum 1/8 inch per foot to slow flow. D. Slope is not important for septic systems. The correct answer is B. Minimum 1/4 inch per foot, 2%, toward the tank. The sewer line from building to septic tank requires minimum 1/4 inch per foot, 2% or 21 mm over m, slope toward the tank for pipes 3 inches and smaller, and 1/8 inch per foot for 4 inch and larger. Proper slope ensures solids are carried with the liquid flow. Excessive slope can cause liquids to outrun solids. Question 53. A homeowner reports that their septic system backs up only during heavy rainfall. What is the most likely cause? A. The tank is too small for the household water usage. B. Excessive toilet paper usage by household members. C. Groundwater infiltration into the tank or piping, or saturated field. D. The tank inlet and outlet baffles have failed. The correct answer is C. Groundwater infiltration into the tank or piping, or saturated field. Backup during rainfall typically indicates 1. Groundwater infiltration through damaged tank lids, risers, or pipe joints, or 2. A saturated disposal field that cannot accept additional flow during wet conditions. Investigation should include inspecting the tank and connections during rain, and evaluating whether the disposal field is properly designed for the soil conditions. Question 54. A percolation test shows very slow drainage, 60+ minutes per inch. What design approach is most appropriate? A. Install a standard gravity system with a larger tank. B. Install standard leaching trenches closer together. C. Proceed with a standard system and expect shorter lifespan. D. Consider an advanced treatment system or mound system. The correct answer is D. Consider an advanced treatment system or mound system. Very slow percolation rates, 60+ min over inch, indicate soil that cannot adequately absorb septic effluent in a conventional gravity system. Advanced treatment systems that produce higher quality effluent, or mound systems that place the disposal field above grade in imported sand, are appropriate alternatives. Some jurisdictions may not permit any on-site system in such soils. Question 55. What is the purpose of a vent in a DWV system? A. To protect trap seals, allow air circulation, and equalize pressure. B. To increase the water flow velocity through drain pipes. C. To provide emergency drainage overflow during heavy flow. D. To add oxygen to the sewage for aerobic treatment. The correct answer is A. To protect trap seals, allow air circulation, and equalize pressure. Vents serve 3 critical functions. 1. Protect trap seals from siphonage or backpressure that would allow sewer gases into the building. 2. Allow air circulation for aerobic decomposition of waste. 3. Equalize pressure in the drainage system. Without proper venting, fixtures drain slowly and trap seals may be lost. Question 56. What is the minimum trap arm length before a vent is required per the National Plumbing Code? A. 0. A vent must connect directly at the trap. B. A fixed 5 feet, 1.5 meters, for all fixtures. C. There is no maximum trap arm length. D. Depends on the fixture drain size and trap arm slope. The correct answer is D. Depends on the fixture drain size and trap arm slope. The maximum trap arm length depends on the fixture drain size and slope. Per NPC Table 7.5.5.1, the maximum distance ranges from 1.2 meters, 4 feet, for 1/4 inch drains to 3.0 meters, 10 feet, for 3-inch drains at 1/4 inch per foot slope. Longer trap arms at steeper slopes require closer vent connections. Question 57. What is the correct slope for a horizontal drain pipe carrying fixture waste? A. Level installation to maximize the pipe's carrying capacity. B. 1 inch per foot, 8%, slope for all drain pipe sizes. C. 1/4 inch per foot for 3-inch and smaller, 1/8 inch for 4-inch and larger. D. Slope is optional if adequate water flow exists from fixtures. The correct answer is C, 1/4 inch per foot for 3 inch and smaller, 1/8 inch for 4 inch and larger. The National Plumbing Code requires horizontal drains 3 inches and smaller to slope at minimum 1/4 inch per foot, 2% or 21 mm over m. Drains 4 inches and larger may slope at 1/8 inch per foot, 1% or 10 mm over m. This slope provides adequate velocity for self-cleaning while preventing water from outrunning solids. Question 58. What is the minimum size for a vent serving a toilet, water closet? A. 1/2 inches, 38 mm. B. 1/4 inches, 32 mm. C. 2 inches, 50 mm. D. 3 inches, 75 mm. The correct answer is A. 1/2 inches, 38 mm. The minimum vent size for a toilet is 1/2 inches, 38 mm, per the National Plumbing Code. However, the vent size also depends on the developed length and the total fixture units served. Longer vent runs or vents serving multiple fixtures may require larger sizes per the vent sizing tables. Question 59. At what height must a vent pipe connect to a drain pipe? A. At the centerline of the horizontal drain pipe. B. Above the centerline of the drain pipe, typically at top half. C. At the bottom of the horizontal drain pipe. D. Anywhere on the drain pipe is acceptable for vent connection. The correct answer is B. Above the centerline of the drain pipe, typically at top half. Vent pipes must connect to drain pipes above the centerline, in the top half of the pipe, to prevent waste from entering the vent. This is typically achieved by using a sanitary T or Y with the vent takeoff in the upward position. Vents connected below centerline would fill with waste and become blocked. Question 60. What is the procedure for performing a rough-in inspection of a DWV system? A. Complete all finish work first, then request the rough-in inspection. B. Only inspect the building drain, not the individual fixture drains. C. Self-inspection by the plumber is sufficient for rough-in work. D. Ensure all rough piping is installed, capped, and visible before covering. The correct answer is D. Ensure all rough piping is installed, capped, and visible before covering. Rough-in inspection requires 1. All rough piping installed per approved plans, 2. All openings capped or plugged, 3. Piping visible and accessible, not covered by drywall, 4. System ready for testing. The inspector verifies pipe sizes, slopes, venting, and code compliance before approving wall and floor covering. Question 61. What is the minimum cover depth required for water service piping below finished grade in areas subject to freezing? A. 300 mm, 12 inches, below the finished grade surface. B. Below the frost line as specified by local code. C. 600 mm, 24 inches, below the finished grade surface. D. 1,800 mm, 72 inches, in all Canadian climate zones. The correct answer is B. Below the frost line as specified by local code. Water service piping must be installed below the frost line to prevent freezing. The frost line depth varies by geographic location and is specified in local codes. It can range from 600 mm in southern regions to over 2,400 mm in northern Canada. Always consult the local authority having jurisdiction for specific requirements. Question 62. What is the minimum water service size for a typical single-family residential dwelling? A. 1/2 inch, 12 mm. B. 3/4 inch, 19 mm. C. 1 inch, 25 mm. D. 1/2 inches, 38 mm. The correct answer is B. 3/4 inch, 19 mm. The minimum water service size for a single-family residential dwelling is typically 3/4 inch, 19 mm. However, larger services, 1 inch or more, may be required based on fixture count, distance from main, available pressure, and peak demand. The service must be sized to provide adequate flow and pressure at the most remote fixture. Question 63. What is the correct procedure for installing a water service connection to the main? A. Tap the main while under pressure, install corporation stop, connect service pipe. B. Shut down the main, cut and thread, install T-fitting, restore service. C. Install a saddle fitting without tapping, connect service pipe directly. D. Connect service pipe to main using compression coupling only. The correct answer is A. Tap the main while under pressure, install corporation stop, connect service pipe. For water service connections, the main is typically tapped while under pressure using a tapping machine. A corporation stop is installed in the tapped hole to allow isolation of the service. The service pipe is then connected to the corporation stop. This method avoids disrupting service to other customers. Question 64. When installing a water meter in a residential application, where should the main shut-off valve be located? A. After the meter only. B. Both before and after the meter. C. Before the meter only. D. No shut-off valve is required near the meter. The correct answer is B. Both before and after the meter. A main shut-off valve should be installed both before and after the water meter. The valve before the meter, inlet side, allows for meter removal and service. The valve after the meter, outlet side, allows the homeowner to shut off water to the building for maintenance. This configuration is required by most codes. Question 65. What is the standard test pressure for a water service line before backfilling? A. 50 psi for 15 minutes with no pressure drop. B. 100 psi for 30 minutes with no pressure drop. C. Equal to the main pressure for 1 hour minimum. D. 1.5 times the working pressure for minimum 2 hours. The correct answer is D. 1.5 times the working pressure for minimum 2 hours. Water service lines must be pressure tested at 1.5 times the working pressure, but not less than 100 psi, for a minimum of 2 hours before backfilling. The line must hold pressure without any drop, indicating no leaks. All joints should be exposed and visible during testing. Question 66. How should a plumber locate a leak in an underground water service line? A. Use acoustic leak detection equipment to pinpoint leak location. B. Dig up the entire line and visually inspect all joints. C. Abandon the existing line and install a new service line. D. Wait for the leak to surface visibly above ground. The correct answer is A. Use acoustic leak detection equipment to pinpoint leak location. Acoustic leak detection equipment is used to locate underground water leaks by detecting the sound of water escaping from the pipe. The plumber uses ground microphones or listening devices to trace the leak sound along the pipe route. This method minimizes excavation by pinpointing the exact leak location. Question 67. What bedding material should be used when installing polyethylene water service pipe in a trench? A. Granular bedding material free of rocks and debris. B. Native soil is acceptable in all cases. C. Concrete encasement is required. D. No bedding required for polyethylene pipe. The correct answer is A. Granular bedding material free of rocks and debris. Polyethylene water service pipe requires granular bedding material, such as sand or pea gravel, free of rocks, debris, and sharp objects that could damage the pipe. A minimum of 100 mm bedding below the pipe and 150 mm cover above is typical. Proper bedding protects the pipe and provides uniform support. Question 68. What is the purpose of a curb stop in a water service installation? A. To provide an accessible shutoff valve at the property line. B. To regulate the water pressure entering the building. C. To filter debris from the water supply before entry. D. To prevent backflow from the building into the main. The correct answer is A. To provide an accessible shutoff valve at the property line. A curb stop, also called curb valve, is a shutoff valve installed at or near the property line in an accessible valve box. It allows the water utility or plumber to shut off water to the property without entering the building. The curb stop is operated with a special key from the surface. Question 69. What is the correct procedure for thawing a frozen water service line? A. Use a torch to heat the pipe directly until thawed. B. Apply electrical thawing equipment or hot water thawing from inside. C. Wait for warmer weather to naturally thaw the line. D. Dig up the line and replace the frozen section. The correct answer is B. Apply electrical thawing equipment or hot water thawing from inside. Frozen water service lines can be thawed using electrical thawing equipment, for metallic pipes, or hot water over steam injection. Electric thawing passes current through the pipe to generate heat. Never use open flame on pipes, especially plastic. After thawing, investigate why freezing occurred, insufficient depth, heat tape failure, etc. Question 70. A homeowner reports low water pressure throughout the house. The pressure at the street main is adequate. What should the plumber investigate first? A. Install a booster pump immediately to increase building pressure. B. Check for leaks, closed valves, or mineral buildup in service line. C. Replace all fixtures with low-flow models to reduce demand. D. Increase the water heater temperature to maximum setting. The correct answer is B. Check for leaks, closed valves, or mineral buildup in service line. Low pressure with adequate main pressure indicates a problem between the main and fixtures. The plumber should first check 1. Service line for leaks, wet spots in yard, running meter. 2. Main shutoff valve fully open. 3. Pressure at meter versus inside. 4. Mineral buildup in older galvanized piping. Identify the cause before recommending solutions. Question 71. What type of backflow prevention device is required for a high-hazard cross-connection? A. Dual check valve at the service entrance. B. Atmospheric vacuum breaker at each outlet. C. Hose bib vacuum breaker on each spigot. D. Reduced pressure principle, RP, backflow preventer. The correct answer is D. Reduced pressure principle, RP, backflow preventer. For high-hazard cross-connections, where backflow could cause serious health hazards, plumbing codes require a reduced pressure principle, RP, backflow preventer. The RP device provides the highest level of protection with 2 independent check valves and a relief valve that opens if either check fails, preventing contamination even under back pressure conditions. Question 72. What is the maximum water velocity recommended for copper potable water distribution piping? A. 1.5 meters per second, 5 frames per second. B. 3.7 meters per second, 12 frames per second. C. 2.4 meters per second, 8 frames per second. D. 4.6 meters per second, 15 frames per second. The correct answer is C. 2.4 meters per second, 8 frames per second. The maximum recommended water velocity for copper piping is 2.4 meters per second, 8 frames per second, for cold water and 1.5 meters per second, 5 frames per second, for hot water. Exceeding these velocities causes erosion, corrosion, water hammer, and noise issues. Pipe sizing calculations must consider both pressure drop and velocity limits. Question 73. When installing hot and cold water supply piping in parallel, what is the correct spacing requirement? A. No minimum spacing required if insulated. B. Must be in separate stud bays. C. Hot water must always be above cold water. D. Minimum 150 mm, 6 inches, apart or insulated. The correct answer is D. Minimum 150 mm, 6 inches, apart or insulated. Hot and cold water supply piping running parallel must be spaced a minimum of 150 mm, 6 inches, apart, or properly insulated if closer together. This prevents heat transfer from hot to cold water piping. Hot water is typically installed on the left side when facing the fixture. Question 74. What is the correct installation orientation for a pressure-reducing valve, pressure-reducing valve? A. Horizontal with the adjustment screw facing up. B. Vertical with flow from bottom to top only. C. Any orientation as PRVs are omnidirectional. D. Horizontal with the strainer on the inlet side. The correct answer is D. Horizontal with the strainer on the inlet side. Pressure-reducing valves must be installed horizontally with the strainer on the inlet, high pressure, side. The flow direction arrow must point downstream. A strainer protects the valve from debris, and horizontal installation ensures proper diaphragm operation and allows for easier maintenance access. Question 75. What is the required minimum air gap between a water outlet and the flood level rim of a fixture? A. 2 times the effective opening diameter, minimum 25 mm. B. 1 pipe diameter from the flood level rim of fixture. C. Equal to the fixture depth from rim to the drain. D. No minimum is required if the fixture has an overflow. The correct answer is A. 2 times the effective opening diameter, minimum 25 mm. The minimum air gap is 2 times the effective opening diameter of the water outlet, with an absolute minimum of 25 mm, 1 inch. For example, a 12 mm outlet requires a 25 mm air gap, not 24 mm. Air gaps provide the most reliable protection against backflow and are required where practical. Question 76. What is the procedure for conducting a pressure test on a potable water distribution system? A. Fill system with water, apply air pressure, and check for leaks. B. Fill system, purge air, apply hydrostatic pressure, inspect joints. C. Test each section separately with running water at fixtures. D. Apply maximum available pressure from the street main. The correct answer is B. Fill system, purge air, apply hydrostatic pressure, inspect joints. The correct procedure is 1. Fill the system completely with water. 2. Purge all air from high points using vents. 3. Apply hydrostatic test pressure, typically 100 psi or 1.5 times working pressure. 4. Hold for required duration. 5. Inspect all joints and connections. Air must be purged because air compresses and masks leaks. Question 77. How should a plumber repair a pinhole leak in copper potable water piping? A. Apply epoxy putty over the leak as a permanent repair. B. Install a pipe clamp over the leak as a permanent repair. C. Cut out the damaged section and install new pipe with couplings. D. Solder a copper patch over the hole in the pipe. The correct answer is C. Cut out the damaged section and install new pipe with couplings. The correct repair method is to cut out the damaged section and install new pipe using couplings or unions. Pinhole leaks indicate internal corrosion, and the affected area likely has additional weak spots. Patches, clamps, and putty are temporary repairs only and not acceptable for permanent installations. Question 78. What is the correct procedure for installing a thermostatic mixing valve at a point-of-use location? A. Install with hot water inlet on either side as convenient. B. Install downstream of the water heater in the mechanical room. C. Install without check valves to allow free water flow. D. Install hot inlet on left, cold on right, verify setpoint, test output. The correct answer is D. Install hot inlet on left, cold on right, verify setpoint, test output. Thermostatic mixing valves must be installed with 1. Hot water inlet on left, as marked, cold on right. 2. Check valves on both inlets to prevent cross-flow. 3. Anti-scald setpoint verified, typically 49 degrees Celsius over 120 degrees Fahrenheit maximum. 4. Output temperature tested with thermometer. Improper installation can result in scalding or no hot water. Question 79. A homeowner reports inconsistent water temperature from their shower, sometimes scalding hot, sometimes cold. What is the most likely cause? A. The water heater thermostat is defective and needs replacement. B. The shower head is clogged with mineral deposits from hard water. C. Pressure imbalance from other fixtures requires a pressure-balanced valve. D. The water main pressure is too high and needs a pressure reducer. The correct answer is C. Pressure imbalance from other fixtures requires a pressure-balanced valve. Temperature fluctuations during shower use are typically caused by pressure imbalances when other fixtures, toilets, washing machines, are used simultaneously. A pressure-balanced or thermostatic shower valve maintains consistent temperature regardless of pressure changes. This is a code requirement for new installations to prevent scalding. Question 80. A plumber discovers that an irrigation system is connected directly to the potable water supply without any backflow protection. What is the most appropriate course of action? A. No action needed if the irrigation system is in good condition. B. Install an atmospheric vacuum breaker at each irrigation zone. C. Notify owner of cross-connection hazard and install backflow preventer. D. Disconnect the irrigation system from water supply permanently. The correct answer is C. Notify owner of cross-connection hazard and install backflow preventer. Irrigation systems represent a high-hazard cross-connection due to potential contamination from fertilizers, pesticides, and animal waste. The plumber must notify the owner of the hazard and install appropriate backflow protection, typically an RP device or pressure vacuum breaker depending on installation. The system should not be used until protection is in place. Question 81. What is the typical pre-charge pressure setting for a residential pressure tank bladder? A. Equal to the pump cut-in pressure. B. Equal to the pump cut-out pressure. C. Half of the operating pressure range. D. 2 psi below the pump cut-in pressure. The correct answer is D. 2 psi below the pump cut-in pressure. The pre-charge pressure for a bladder-type pressure tank should be set 2 psi below the pump cut-in pressure. For example, if the pressure switch is set for 30/50 psi, cut-in cut-out, the tank pre-charge should be 28 psi. This ensures maximum drawdown capacity and prevents the bladder from wearing against the tank wall. Question 82. What factors must be considered when sizing a well pump for a residential application? A. Well depth only, regardless of demand or yield. B. Well yield, total dynamic head, and peak demand flow rate. C. Number of fixtures only, regardless of flow rates. D. Pressure tank size only, regardless of pump capacity. The correct answer is B. Well yield, total dynamic head, and peak demand flow rate. Well pump sizing requires consideration of 1. Well yield, gallons per minute the well produces, 2. Total dynamic head, vertical lift plus friction loss plus pressure, and 3. Peak demand flow rate, based on fixture count and simultaneous use. The pump must not exceed well yield to prevent well damage. Question 83. What is the correct procedure for installing a submersible well pump? A. Lower the pump on the drop pipe with safety rope and pitless adapter. B. Lower the pump on its electrical cable into the well casing. C. Install the pump at the very bottom of the well casing. D. Attach the pump directly to the pressure tank at ground level. The correct answer is A. Lower the pump on the drop pipe with safety rope and pitless adapter. A submersible pump is lowered into the well on the drop pipe, never on the electrical cable, with a safety rope attached as a backup. The pump connects to the surface piping through a pitless adapter installed below frost line. The pump should be positioned above the well intake screen and above sediment level. Question 84. When installing a pressure tank, what components must be included in the installation? A. Tank and pump only, no additional components required. B. Tank and check valve only, no additional components required. C. Tank, pressure switch, pressure gauge, drain valve, and relief valve. D. Tank with automatic air charger only for air maintenance. The correct answer is C. Tank, pressure switch, pressure gauge, drain valve, and relief valve. A complete pressure tank installation includes 1. Pressure tank, 2. Pressure switch to control pump operation, 3. Pressure gauge to monitor system pressure, 4. drain valve for maintenance. 5. Relief valve for overpressure protection. A check valve in the well line prevents backflow and maintains prime. Question 85. What is the standard rough-in dimension from the finished wall to the center of the toilet flange? A. 254 mm, 10 inches. B. 305 mm, 12 inches. C. 356 mm, 14 inches. D. 406 mm, 16 inches. The correct answer is B. 305 mm, 12 inches. The standard rough-in dimension for most residential toilets is 305 mm, 12 inches, from the finished wall to the center of the toilet flange. Some toilets are designed for 10-inch or 14-inch rough-ins, so always verify the fixture specifications before installation. This dimension ensures proper clearance and fixture alignment. Question 86. What is the minimum required height for a shower head outlet above the shower floor? A. 1,500 mm, 60 inches. B. 2,000 mm, 80 inches. C. 1,800 mm, 72 inches. D. 2,100 mm, 84 inches. The correct answer is B. 2,000 mm, 80 inches. The minimum height for a shower head outlet is typically 2,000 mm, 80 inches, above the shower floor to accommodate users of various heights. This provides adequate clearance while allowing proper spray coverage. Shower controls should be accessible from outside the spray zone, typically at 1,000 to 1,200 mm height. Question 87. What is the correct procedure for installing a toilet flange on a wood subfloor? A. Set flange on top of finished floor, secure with wood screws only. B. Recess flange below the finished floor level for wax ring space. C. Glue flange directly to drain pipe without any mechanical fastening. D. Set flange on subfloor, top flush with finished floor, secure with screws. The correct answer is D. Set flange on subfloor, top flush with finished floor, secure with screws. The toilet flange should be set on the subfloor with the top of the flange flush with or slightly above, 1/4 inch maximum, the finished floor height. This ensures proper wax ring compression. The flange is secured with stainless steel screws through the mounting slots into the subfloor, and the flange collar connects to the drain pipe. Question 88. What is the correct sequence for installing a wall-hung lavatory? A. Install backing in wall, mount bracket, hang lavatory, connect supply and drain. B. Mount lavatory, then install backing, then connect plumbing. C. Connect all plumbing first, then mount lavatory. D. Install lavatory directly to drywall using toggle bolts. The correct answer is A. Install backing in wall, mount bracket, hang lavatory, connect supply and drain. The correct sequence is 1. Install solid backing, wood blocking or metal carrier, in wall during rough-in. 2. Mount the lavatory bracket to backing after wall finish. 3. Hang lavatory on bracket. 4. Connect water supply lines. 5. Connect P-trap and drain. Backing must be installed before wall covering. Question 89. When installing a bathtub, what must be done before setting the tub in place? A. Connect all plumbing and test for leaks before setting. B. Install drain and overflow assembly, level and support tub base. C. Tile the walls around the tub opening before placement. D. Install the tub spout and shower valve in the wall. The correct answer is B. Install drain and overflow assembly, level and support tub base. Before setting a bathtub, 1. Install the drain shoe and overflow assembly, easier to access before installation. 2. Prepare a level and properly supported base, mortar bed or foam support for some tubs. 3. Position waste and overflow where drain connection will be made. The tub must be level and fully supported to prevent cracking and ensure proper drainage. Question 90. What type of sealant should be used between a toilet and a floor flange? A. Silicone caulk applied to flange and horn. B. Plumber's putty formed around the horn. C. Wax ring or wax-free gasket designed for application. D. Teflon tape wrapped around the flange collar. The correct answer is C. Wax ring or wax-free gasket designed for application. A wax ring or wax-free gasket specifically designed for toilet installation must be used between the toilet and floor flange. The wax ring compresses to form a watertight seal when the toilet is set and bolted down. Wax-free gaskets provide a reliable alternative and can be repositioned if needed. Never use caulk or putty as the primary seal. Question 91. How should a plumber test a newly installed toilet for proper operation? A. Flush multiple times, check for leaks, verify fill valve and water level. B. Visual inspection only without running water through the toilet. C. Run water into bowl continuously for 5 minutes to check draining. D. Check that the toilet is level and sits firmly on the floor. The correct answer is A. Flush multiple times, check for leaks, verify fill valve and water level. Testing a toilet installation includes 1. Multiple flush tests to verify proper bowl evacuation, 2. Check for leaks at supply connection, tank to bowl connection, and floor seal, 3. Verify fill valve shuts off at proper water level, 4. Check flapper seals properly, no running water, 5. Confirm tank fills to marked water line. Question 92. What is the procedure for replacing a faucet cartridge in a single-handle mixing faucet? A. Remove the faucet completely and replace the entire unit. B. Cut supply lines and install a new faucet in the fixture. C. Replace only the handle to fix leaks and drips. D. Turn off water, remove handle and trim, extract and replace cartridge. The correct answer is D. Turn off water, remove handle and trim, extract and replace cartridge. To replace a faucet cartridge, 1. Turn off water supplies and relieve pressure, 2. Remove handle screw and handle, 3. Remove any trim or retaining clip, 4. Extract old cartridge, may require puller tool, 5. Install new cartridge in correct orientation, 6. Reassemble trim and handle, 7. Turn on water and test for leaks in proper operation. Question 93. What is the correct method for connecting a dishwasher drain to the plumbing system? A. Connect directly to the drain line below the sink trap. B. Drain into a floor drain only without any direct connection. C. Connect to the washing machine standpipe for shared drainage. D. Connect to disposal or dedicated drain with high loop or air gap. The correct answer is D. Connect to disposal or dedicated drain with high loop or air gap. Dishwasher drains must connect to the garbage disposal dishwasher inlet or to a dedicated Y fitting on the sink tailpiece, with either a high loop, secured at underside of counter, or an air gap device. This prevents dirty water from siphoning back into the dishwasher. Never connect below the trap or to other fixture drains. Question 94. What is the standard rough-in height for a kitchen sink drain outlet from the finished floor? A. 300 mm, 12 inches. B. 400 to 450 mm, 16 to 18 inches. C. 600 mm, 24 inches. D. 750 mm, 30 inches. The correct answer is B. 400 to 450 mm, 16 to 18 inches. The standard rough-in height for a kitchen sink drain outlet is typically 400 to 450 mm, 16 to 18 inches, from the finished floor. This height provides adequate space for the P-trap and allows for connection to the sink tailpiece while fitting within the cabinet space. Always verify with fixture specifications and cabinet dimensions. Question 95. A homeowner complains that their toilet rocks and there is a sewage odor in the bathroom. What is the most likely cause and solution? A. Failed wax ring seal, stabilize toilet and replace wax ring. B. The toilet is the wrong size for the floor flange. C. The vent pipe is blocked causing sewer gas backup. D. The toilet tank is leaking water onto the floor. The correct answer is A. Failed wax ring seal, stabilize toilet and replace wax ring. A rocking toilet and sewage odor indicate a failed wax ring seal. The rocking motion breaks the wax seal, allowing sewer gas to escape and potentially water to leak beneath the floor. Solution: 1. Remove toilet. 2. Inspect flange for damage, repair if needed. 3. Shim if floor is uneven. 4. Install new wax ring. 5. Reset toilet and secure firmly without over-tightening bolts. Question 96. A bathroom sink drains slowly despite a clear trap and trap arm. When the sink is draining, water gurgles in the nearby toilet. What is the most likely cause? A. The sink trap is installed incorrectly or at wrong height. B. The toilet flapper is leaking causing the gurgling sound. C. Inadequate venting causes toilet trap siphoning during sink drainage. D. The sink faucet aerator is clogged reducing flow rate. The correct answer is C. Inadequate venting causes toilet trap siphoning during sink drainage. Gurgling in the toilet while the sink drains indicates a venting problem. The sink is creating negative pressure that pulls air through the toilet trap water seal. Causes include blocked vent, undersized vent, or missing vent. The solution is to correct the venting issue, which may involve clearing blockage, adding a vent, or installing an air admittance valve if permitted. Question 97. What determines the size of a water softener for residential application? A. Number of bathrooms in the home, regardless of water quality. B. Water hardness level, daily water usage, and regeneration frequency. C. Pipe size of the water main service, regardless of hardness. D. Distance from the water heater, regardless of water quality. The correct answer is B. Water hardness level, daily water usage, and regeneration frequency. Water softener sizing depends on 1. Water hardness level in grains per gallon, GPG. 2. Daily water usage based on occupancy and fixtures. 3. Desired regeneration frequency. The formula is daily hardness removal equals GPG x daily gallons used. The softener must have capacity between regenerations to meet this demand. Question 98. What contaminants does a reverse osmosis (RO) water treatment system remove? A. Bacteria only from the water supply, not minerals or chemicals. B. Sediment only from the water supply, not dissolved minerals. C. Hardness minerals only from the water, not bacteria or metals. D. Dissolved solids, heavy metals, and many chemical contaminants. The correct answer is D. Dissolved solids, heavy metals, and many chemical contaminants. Reverse osmosis systems force water through a semi-permeable membrane that removes dissolved solids, TDS, heavy metals, lead, arsenic, nitrates, sodium, fluoride, and many chemical contaminants. RO typically reduces TDS by 90 to 99%. Prefiltration removes sediment and chlorine to protect the membrane. RO does not remove all bacteria, so UV treatment may be needed. Question 99. What is the correct procedure for installing a water softener? A. Install on the hot water line only after the water heater. B. Install after the water heater on the outlet side only. C. Install without bypass valves to save installation cost. D. Install on cold main after meter, with bypass and drain to receptor. The correct answer is D. Install on cold main after meter, with bypass and drain to receptor. Water softener installation requires 1. Location on cold water main after meter but before water heater and other fixtures. 2. Bypass valves for service and regeneration. 3. Drain line to an approved receptor, floor drain, laundry sink, for regeneration discharge. 4. Electrical connection for timer over controller. Outdoor faucets may be plumbed before softener to avoid softened water waste. Question 100. When installing a UV water disinfection system, what is the correct orientation and placement? A. Vertical installation as the final treatment stage, after filtration. B. Horizontal installation before all filters in the system. C. Any orientation is acceptable, installed before water softener. D. Submerged in a storage tank for maximum contact time. The correct answer is A. Vertical installation as the final treatment stage, after filtration. UV disinfection systems should be 1. Installed vertically with flow from bottom to top, prevents air pockets. 2. Located as the final treatment stage after sediment and carbon filtration, clear water required for UV effectiveness. 3. Installed with isolation valves for lamp replacement. Prefiltration to 5 microns or less is typically required. Question 101. What is the maximum operating pressure for a low-pressure steam heating system? A. 5 psi, 34 kilopascals. B. 15 psi, 103 kilopascals. C. 30 psi, 207 kilopascals. D. 50 psi, 345 kilopascals. The correct answer is B. 15 psi, 103 kilopascals. Low-pressure steam heating systems operate at a maximum of 15 psi, 103 kilopascals. Systems operating above this pressure are classified as high-pressure steam and require different codes, materials, and certifications. Most residential and small commercial steam systems operate at 2 to 5 psi for efficiency and safety. Question 102. What is the correct pitch for horizontal steam supply piping in a two-pipe system? A. Level with no pitch for even steam distribution. B. Pitched away from the boiler toward the radiators. C. Pitch toward the boiler at minimum 25 mm per 3 meters. D. Pitch toward the radiators for faster heating. The correct answer is C. Pitch toward the boiler at minimum 25 mm per 3 meters. In a two-pipe steam system, horizontal supply mains must be pitched toward the boiler at minimum 25 mm per 3 meters, 1 inch per 10 feet, to allow condensate to drain back to the boiler by gravity. Improper pitch causes water hammer, noise, and reduced heating efficiency. Return lines also pitch toward the boiler or condensate receiver. Question 103. What type of valve is required at each steam radiator for individual temperature control? A. Gate valve for on-off control. B. Ball valve for on-off control. C. Thermostatic radiator valve, TRV. D. Check valve for one-way flow. The correct answer is C. Thermostatic radiator valve, TRV. Thermostatic radiator valves, TRVs, provide automatic temperature control at each radiator. The TRV senses room temperature and modulates steam flow accordingly. Gate or ball valves provide only on-off control. TRVs improve comfort and energy efficiency by allowing zone-by-zone temperature adjustment. Question 104. What is the function of a steam trap in a two-pipe steam heating system? A. To regulate steam pressure in the system piping. B. To allow condensate to pass while preventing steam entering return. C. To vent air from the system at high points. D. To control the boiler water level automatically. The correct answer is B. To allow condensate to pass while preventing steam entering return. A steam trap allows condensate, water formed when steam gives up its heat, to pass into the return line while preventing live steam from entering the return. This ensures efficient use of steam energy. Common types include thermostatic, float, and inverted bucket traps. Failed traps waste energy and cause system problems. Question 105. What is the correct procedure for diagnosing a banging noise, water hammer, in a steam heating system? A. Increase boiler pressure to force water through the system. B. Check for sagging pipes, failed traps, and improper pitch. C. Add more water to the boiler to increase output. D. Replace all radiator valves in the system. The correct answer is B. Check for sagging pipes, failed traps, and improper pitch. Water hammer in steam systems occurs when steam encounters accumulated condensate. Diagnose by checking: 1. Pipe pitch, must slope toward boiler or return. 2. failed steam traps allowing condensate to back up. 3. Sagging pipes creating low spots. 4. Radiator valves must be fully open or closed, not throttled. Correct the drainage issue to eliminate water hammer. Question 106. Several radiators in a one-pipe steam system are not heating while others work fine. The boiler is operating correctly. What is the most likely cause? A. The boiler is undersized for the heating load. B. Failed air vents on cold radiators preventing steam entry. C. The thermostat is set too low for the conditions. D. The steam pressure is too high in the system. The correct answer is B. Failed air vents on cold radiators preventing steam entry. In a one-pipe steam system, each radiator has an air vent that allows air to escape as steam enters. If the vent is stuck closed or failed, air cannot escape and steam cannot enter the radiator. Solution: replace the air vents on the cold radiators. Verify by checking if vents are stuck, no air flow, or if steam is escaping continuously, stuck open. Question 107. What is the purpose of an expansion tank in a closed hydronic heating system? A. To absorb water expansion as it heats and maintain system pressure. B. To store extra water for makeup when needed. C. To filter debris and sediment from the system. D. To increase water pressure in the hydronic system. The correct answer is A. To absorb water expansion as it heats and maintain system pressure. An expansion tank absorbs the increased volume of water as it heats. Water expands approximately 4% when heated from 4 degrees Celsius to 82 degrees Celsius. In a closed system, without an expansion tank, this expansion would cause dangerous pressure buildup. The tank contains a bladder or diaphragm separating air and water, allowing water to compress the air as it expands. Question 108. What is the purpose of a primary-secondary piping configuration in hydronic systems? A. To reduce pipe size requirements throughout the system. B. To hydraulically separate circuits so flow in one does not affect others. C. To eliminate the need for zone valves in the system. D. To increase system pressure at the distribution points. The correct answer is B. To hydraulically separate circuits so flow in one does not affect others. Primary-secondary piping creates hydraulic separation between circuits using closely spaced tees. The primary loop circulates continuously, while secondary circuits, zones, can operate independently without affecting each other's flow. This allows different flow rates and mixing in each zone while maintaining stable boiler flow. Question 109. What is the correct procedure for filling and purging a hydronic heating system? A. Fill slowly from lowest point, open high vents, purge each zone. B. Fill quickly from the top of the system and run circulator. C. Fill from any convenient location in the system. D. Add water while the boiler is firing for faster heating. The correct answer is A. Fill slowly from lowest point, open high vents, purge each zone. Proper filling procedure: 1. Close zone valves. 2. Connect fill water at lowest point. 3. Fill slowly to minimize air entrainment. 4. Open air vents at high points and bleed air. 5. Purge each zone individually using hose bibs. 6. Repeat until no air in any zone. Air in system causes noise, poor heat distribution, and potential pump damage. Question 110. Where should an air separator be installed in a hydronic heating system? A. At the lowest point of the hydronic system. B. In the return line before the boiler inlet. C. At each radiator in the distribution system. D. After circulator on discharge side where temperature is highest. The correct answer is D. After circulator on discharge side where temperature is highest. Air separators are most effective at the point of lowest pressure and highest temperature, which is typically on the discharge side of the circulator near the boiler outlet. At this location, dissolved air comes out of solution most readily and can be vented. The expansion tank should connect near the air separator. Question 111. What is the correct method for installing PEX tubing in a radiant floor heating system? A. Install in serpentine or spiral pattern, secure with clips, pressure test. B. Run tubing in straight lines only from manifold to terminal. C. Glue tubing directly to subfloor using construction adhesive. D. Install without any fastening in a sand bed under slab. The correct answer is A. Install in serpentine or spiral pattern, secure with clips, pressure test. PEX radiant floor installation. 1. Plan loop layout, serpentine or spiral, at specified spacing, typically 150 to 300 mm. 2. Secure tubing with staples, clips, or wire ties to maintain spacing. 3. Use bend supports at turns. 4. Connect to manifold. 5. Pressure test entire system before concrete pour. 6. Maintain pressure during pour to detect any damage. Question 112. How should a hydronic heating system be pressure tested? A. Test with air pressure only at maximum operating pressure. B. Run the system at operating temperature and check visually. C. Fill with water, pressurize to 1.5 times working pressure, hold 2 hours. D. Visual inspection of all joints without pressurizing system. The correct answer is C. Fill with water, pressurize to 1.5 times working pressure, hold 2 hours. Hydronic system pressure testing. 1. Fill system completely with water. 2. Purge all air. 3. Pressurize to 1.5 times the maximum working pressure, typically 45 to 75 psi for residential. 4. Hold pressure for minimum 2 hours. 5. Inspect all joints for leaks. 6. No pressure drop indicates a tight system. Test before insulating or concealing piping. Question 113. A hydronic heating system makes gurgling noises and some radiators are not heating. The system was recently refilled. What is the most likely cause? A. The boiler is undersized for the heating load. B. The thermostat is faulty and needs replacement. C. The radiators need to be replaced with larger units. D. Air trapped in the system, requires bleeding and purging zones. The correct answer is D. Air trapped in the system, requires bleeding and purging zones. Gurgling noises and cold radiators after refilling indicate trapped air. Air rises to high points and blocks water flow to radiators. Solution. 1. Bleed air from all radiator vents starting with lowest floor. 2. Purge each zone using drain valves. 3. Check and bleed automatic air vents. 4. Verify proper operation of air separator. May require multiple bleeding cycles. Question 114. What is the function of an aquastat on a hydronic boiler? A. To regulate water flow rate. B. To monitor fuel consumption. C. To purge air from the system. D. To control boiler water temperature. The correct answer is D. To control boiler water temperature. An aquastat is a temperature-sensing control device that monitors boiler water temperature and controls burner operation. It has high limit, safety cutoff, low limit, minimum operating temperature, and differential settings. The aquastat ensures the boiler maintains proper operating temperature and shuts down if temperature exceeds safe limits. Question 115. What safety controls must be installed on a hydronic boiler? A. Pressure relief valve, low water cutoff, high limit, and controls. B. Thermostat only for temperature control of the system. C. Circulator and zone valves only for distribution control. D. Expansion tank and air vent only for system protection. The correct answer is A. Pressure relief valve, low water cutoff, high limit, and controls. Required boiler safety controls include 1. Pressure relief valve size to boiler BTU rating. 2. Low water cutoff to prevent firing with insufficient water. 3. High limit aquastat to shut off burner on overtemperature. 4. Operating aquastat for normal temperature control. These controls are code required and prevent dangerous conditions. Question 116. What is the correct procedure for setting up a circulator pump in a hydronic system? A. Install in any orientation with isolating valves for service. B. Install on return side with shaft vertical only for priming. C. Install without isolation valves for maximum system efficiency. D. Install on supply side with shaft horizontal, include isolation valves. The correct answer is D. Install on supply side with shaft horizontal, include isolation valves. Circulator installation. 1. Install on supply side, pumping away from expansion tank point. 2. Position with shaft horizontal, prevents bearing damage and airlock. 3. Install isolation valves on both sides for service. 4. Include union connections for easy removal. 5. Verify flow direction arrow matches system flow. Some wet rotor circulators allow vertical installation. Question 117. What material is typically required for laboratory acid waste drainage systems? A. Standard ABS plastic for general drainage. B. Acid-resistant polypropylene or borosilicate glass. C. Copper-type DWV for corrosion resistance. D. Galvanized steel with protective coating. The correct answer is B. Acid-resistant polypropylene or borosilicate glass. Laboratory acid waste systems require acid-resistant materials such as polypropylene, PP, PVDF, or borosilicate glass. Standard ABS, PVC, and metal piping will be attacked and degraded by acids. The system typically includes a neutralization tank before connection to the sanitary sewer to neutralize acidic effluent. Question 118. What is the correct procedure for installing compressed air piping in a plumbing application? A. Install with pitch toward drip legs and moisture separators. B. Install with downward pitch toward equipment connections. C. Use flexible tubing throughout the entire system. D. Install without any pitch for consistent air pressure. The correct answer is A. Install with pitch toward drip legs and moisture separators. Compressed air piping installation. 1. Pitch piping toward drip legs and moisture separators, minimum 1% slope. 2. Install drip legs at low points and before equipment. 3. Take branch connections from top of main to prevent moisture entering equipment. 4. Use proper supports at specified intervals. 5. Pressure test before placing in service. Question 119. How should process piping systems be tested before being placed in service? A. Visual inspection only of all joints and connections. B. Flow test at operating pressure only at equipment. C. Test each fitting individually for leak detection. D. Per specs, typically hydrostatic or pneumatic at specified pressure. The correct answer is D. Per specs, typically hydrostatic or pneumatic at specified pressure. Process piping must be tested according to system-specific requirements. Hydrostatic testing, water, is preferred for safety. Pneumatic testing, air, requires special precautions due to stored energy. Test pressure is typically 1.5 times design pressure held for a specified duration. Document all test results. Some systems require specific cleaning and purging procedures. Question 120. What type of backflow prevention is required for a potable water connection to a fire sprinkler system? A. Dual check valve at the service entrance. B. Double check valve assembly, DCVA, or RP device per hazard level. C. Atmospheric vacuum breaker at each outlet. D. No backflow prevention is required for fire sprinkler systems. The correct answer is B. Double check valve assembly, DCVA, or RP device per hazard level. Potable water connections to fire sprinkler systems require backflow prevention based on the hazard level. A double check valve assembly, DCVA, is minimum for systems using potable water only. An RP device is required if antifreeze or other additives are used, or if there is any cross-connection potential. Plumbing codes and local authorities specify requirements. Question 121. What is required when connecting a residential fire sprinkler system to the domestic water supply? A. Direct connection with no additional requirements needed. B. Separate meter, backflow prevention, flow switch, adequate sizing. C. Connection after the water heater only for heated supply. D. Larger water main only from street to building. The correct answer is B. Separate meter, backflow prevention, flow switch, adequate sizing. Residential fire sprinkler connection requires 1. Adequate water supply sizing for simultaneous domestic and sprinkler demand. 2. Backflow prevention device. 3. Flow switch to indicate sprinkler activation. 4. Separate shutoff valve, often supervised. 5. Some jurisdictions require separate meter. Design must meet applicable fire protection standards and local requirements. Question 122. How should a residential fire sprinkler system be tested after installation? A. Hydrostatic pressure test, flow test at inspector's connection, verify alarm. B. Flow test from one sprinkler head to verify pressure. C. Visual inspection of all heads for proper coverage. D. Test only when fire department personnel are present. The correct answer is A. Hydrostatic pressure test, flow test at inspector's connection, verify alarm. Fire sprinkler system testing includes 1. Hydrostatic pressure test of all piping, typically 200 psi for 2 hours. 2. Flow test through inspector's test connection at hydraulically remote point. 3. Verify flow switch activates and signals properly. 4. Visual inspection of all heads for proper coverage and clearances. 5. Document all tests for authority having jurisdiction. Question 123. What is the correct procedure for servicing a fire sprinkler head that has been painted over? A. Clean the paint off with solvent and reinstall the head. B. Leave the head as is since paint does not affect operation. C. Replace the head, painted sprinklers may fail to activate. D. Heat the head to remove paint then reinstall it. The correct answer is C. Replace the head, painted sprinklers may fail to activate. Painted fire sprinkler heads must be replaced, not cleaned. Paint can delay or prevent the heat-sensitive element from activating at the correct temperature. Any sprinkler head that has been painted, corroded, damaged, or loaded must be replaced with a new head of the same type, temperature rating, and coverage pattern. Question 124. What special requirements apply to swimming pool water supply and drainage connections? A. Standard plumbing connections are acceptable for all pools. B. Direct connection to sanitary sewer for drainage. C. Air gap or backflow prevention for fill, indirect waste for drain. D. No specific requirements for residential pool connections. The correct answer is C. Air gap or backflow prevention for fill, indirect waste for drain. Swimming pool connections require 1. Air gap or approved backflow prevention, RP device, on fill line to prevent pool water from contaminating potable supply. 2. Indirect waste connection for filter backwash and drainage, to floor drain or area drain, not direct sewer connection. 3. Suction outlet safety requirements, VGB Act. Pool water is considered a contamination hazard. Question 125. What is the correct procedure for installing a greywater recycling system? A. Connect to existing drain lines only without separation. B. Direct reuse without treatment for all applications. C. Mix with potable water for dilution before reuse. D. Separate collection, treatment over storage, distribution to approved uses. The correct answer is D. Separate collection, treatment over storage, distribution to approved uses. Greywater system installation. 1. Collect from approved sources only, typically laundry, lavatory, not kitchen or toilet. 2. Install separate collection piping identified as greywater. 3. Provide treatment as required, filtration, disinfection. 4. Store in approved tank. 5. Distribute to approved uses only, typically subsurface irrigation or toilet flushing. 6. Mark all piping and outlets as non-potable. Permits required.